Hey guys, welcome to part 1 for this tutorial on how to build this large modern house. So this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a basketball court, tennis court, and a pool. Keep in mind there are a few extra rooms within the house that are just used as more of like entertainment rooms, for example some TV rooms. So if you did want more bedrooms than 3, feel free to go ahead and turn those into bedrooms, and you could get about 5 bedrooms total out of this house. Anyway, here in part 1, we are going to be shaping out the house and bringing up the exterior walls for the first floor. Okay, let's go ahead and get right into building it. So as you can see, this is the plot size. So as you can see, there's numbers that are in blue and numbers that are in white. The white numbers is the plot size for the entire build, which includes the house and the backyard. The blue numbers is just the house. So the smaller space is the space that's going to be needed for the basketball court and the tennis court. And then the larger space is the house and the pool. You could also see that I marked out where the front side of the build is and the back side of the build, just so it makes it a little bit easier to follow along. One thing I forgot to mark out is the space in between the lines for where the basketball court and tennis court is going to be. Just make sure that there are 13 blocks of grass in between the lines. Okay, so like I mentioned before, here in part 1, we're just going to be shaping out the house and bringing up the exterior walls for the first floor. So all you're going to need is some white concrete, gray concrete, black stained glass panes, and some dark oak fences. And I'm gonna head up towards the front side, and we're gonna start on over here. Okay, so I'm gonna head on over here to the front left hand corner of the build. Make sure you have your white concrete and go from the corner right here, and then go on the second block, then skip over to the right 2, and then place a block of white concrete. So you're right on the edge of this line, and then there's one space of grass, and then this line. Now behind that, going towards the back, you want to place another 10 behind this, so it's 11 in total. Okay, so there we go. That is the first set of blocks for the shape of the house. Now, make sure you're back up towards the front of these blocks here. Switch to your black stained glass, and make sure you're lined up with the third block of white concrete. Head on over to the right side of it and place 3 blocks of glass. Switch to your white concrete. Place 1 right here. Then switch back to your black stained glass. Go back in and place 7 towards the right. Okay, now back to your white concrete. Go from the corner. Place 2 here. And then behind that, going towards the back, you want to place another 4. Okay, so now it should be looking like this. Okay, now be sure you have your gray concrete and go from the corner of this white concrete here and place 1. Now skip over to the right 5. So that you are on the 6th block, and place another gray concrete block there. So once again, 5 spaces of grass. Now, go to the back corner of this block, switch to your white concrete, and go over to the right 7. Okay, so there we go. This right here, this space is going to be where the front door is. Now, head back where we left off. Make sure you have your white concrete. And starting right here, right next to this white concrete, you want to place 5. Going towards the front. So, starting right here. Okay, now switch to your black stained glass. Make sure you're on the 3rd block, so this one right here, and place 7 towards the right. Alright, now back to your white concrete, go from the corner, and place 2. So there we go. All the way from up above, this is what we have so far. Okay, make sure you have your white concrete again. go over here towards the right side, make sure you're lined up with this white concrete block here, and go towards the right and place 7. Okay, now go towards the back and place another 11 starting right here. And now go towards the left and place 2 more. So it should be looking like that. Okay, now head back here with your white concrete. Make sure you're lined up with this white concrete here. Go behind it and place an extra 3. Then go towards the right and place 1. Now switch to your black stained glass and go right here and place 7 going towards the back. And now back to your white concrete, go from the corner right here, and once again towards the back, place 11 more white concrete. Okay, so it should stop there. So now we're working our way towards the right side of the house. So it is looking here, I'll look at it from this side. It should be looking like this. Alright, now I'm looking at these blocks from the back side. Make sure you have your white concrete and go from where this white concrete is and place 2 towards the right. Now switch to your gray concrete, bring it out and place 1. Then back to your black stained glass, go in and place 4 towards the right. Back to your gray concrete, place 1, and then go back in again, switch to your white concrete, and towards the right, place 8. Okay, now up above, it looks like that. Now we're going to start working our way in, so we're going to be pretty much placing the blocks towards the front side again. I'm going to kind of turn over here in this direction so we're looking at that side. Switch to your black stained glass and make sure you're lined up on the 3rd block of this white concrete here. And then go to the right and place 6. Now go ahead and skip over 2 and then place 1 here. Switch to your white concrete, go out and place 1. Back to your glass, go back in and place 1. And then skip over 2, and then place another 3 glass here. So these spaces, right here and right here, so like this space and this space are going to be doorways. So we're just going to leave them empty for now. We'll go ahead and actually place the doors with our glass panes last. Same with the front door over there. But anyway, from up above, we kind of just brought it back in, so this is shaping out part of the L shape. And then we're going to like work our way over here and a little bit out and then back towards the front. So this is what we have for this section. Okay, head on over here where this glass is. Make sure you're lined up with the final one. And like I said, we're going to start working our way over in that direction. So like towards the right. And we're going to place 6 blocks of glass. Okay, and now switch to your white concrete and place 2 right here. And then to your gray concrete, and from the corner, place 2 like that, just like the white concrete. Now go ahead and skip over 5 spaces to the right. And now on the 6th block, go ahead and place a block of gray concrete. So once again, leaving 5 spaces in between them right here, just like we did at the front. So that is like the front door, and this is the back door, pretty much in the same location. So I'll actually look all the way up above from the back side of the build, and this is what we have. We almost have the entire shape of the house done. Okay, now head on over where we left this single block of gray concrete, and with your white concrete, go from the corner and place 2 going towards the back. Now, switch to your black stained glass and go from the corner of the white concrete and place 11 going over towards the right. Okay, now back to your white concrete, and from the corner of that glass, place 2 in this direction, and then behind that, place an additional 5 going back up towards the front. Okay, so you should have a total of 7 white concrete right here. And then it should also be lined up with the white concrete that we first placed in the beginning. Okay. So we just have to pretty much fill in a big window right there. And then we have the entire shape of the house done. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring up all of the walls for the first floor. And we'll leave it at that for part 1 of this tutorial on how to build this modern house. Okay, so back to this empty space here. Like I mentioned, there's going to be a big window here. So switch to your gray concrete. And go from the corner of this white concrete and place 1 going out. Then switch to your black stained glass, go back in from the corner of the gray concrete and place 7 towards the right. Okay, and then you're left with 1 space here, so switch back to your gray concrete and place it here. And there we go. I'll head back on up towards the front and I'll get a top-down view. This is the entire shape of the house. So now let's go ahead and start bringing up the walls. Okay, now let's go ahead and start bringing up the walls. So I have my white concrete and I'm back up here towards the front side of the build. And I'm gonna head up here where we first started. And I'm gonna place another 8 blocks of white concrete on top of this one. So including this one, it's 9 in total. Okay, so I just placed another 8. So from this top one all the way down to this bottom one, there should be a total of 9. Now, we'll go ahead and bring this over towards the right. Make sure it's lined up with the other white concrete down below. And then bring it down there. So we formed this shape like that. Okay, now we have this block of white concrete. On top of this, we want to place another 5, so including this one, it's going to be 6 in total. Okay, so from this one down to the bottom, there should be a total of 6. Now we're going to head on over to the right. We're going to place 7, and it should be lined up with this here, or like right up against it, pretty much. So another 7 towards the right. Okay, so it should be like that. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and fill all of this in real quick. So with your white concrete, just bring it all up and fill it entirely in. Up to the same height as where we already have the white concrete. Okay, there we go. Now, switch to your black stained glass. We'll fill in this space first. We'll just bring it all the way up. And I'll show you where to stop it real quick. So, up 1 more. So it's going to be stopped right there. So it's 1 block lower than where this white concrete is, because we're going to have white concrete going all the way across. So it's pretty much going to be the roof of the building. So it's going to be like this. I'll go ahead and delete that because we're not ready to do that quite yet. I don't want to get all confused, but pretty much that's going to be where the roof is. So this will be brought straight across. So leave this 1 block lower than that white concrete. And for this space here, we'll go ahead and fill this in within the white concrete. So stop it right here. And now, go above this white concrete and fill in the extra 2 layers until you meet up with the white concrete on that side. Okay. So this is what it looks like from the inside. And this will be filled in once we do all of like the interior stuff. But for now, we'll just leave it like that. And then from the outside, it looks like this. And you know what? Let's just switch to our white concrete and completely fill in this wall, because I know for sure this will be completely filled in. So just starting here and bring it right on over and bring it up to the same height as the white concrete already is at. And then we'll go ahead and take one more look. Okay, just one more layer. There we go. I know for sure this is going to be filled in as well, but I'll just go ahead and leave it for now. So, this is what it's looking like now. Alright, now let's go ahead and switch to our gray concrete and bring up these sections here. So we'll head on over to the left first and we'll place an additional 7. So including this bottom one, it's going to be 8 in total. Okay, so I just placed 7. So from top to the bottom, it is now 8 in total. You could also see we are 1 block lower than where this white concrete is. Now, we'll fill in 2 layers going over to the other block of the gray concrete so we're lined up with it. And then you could go ahead and bring it down once you are lined up so that you form a shape like that. Now, let's go ahead and focus on this section of white concrete here. So, switch to your white concrete. We'll head to this side and we'll place an additional 6 on top of this bottom block, so it's 7 in total, including this one. Okay, so there we go. From the top to the bottom is now 7 in total. You could also see, once again, we are 1 block lower than this gray concrete. So we have this layer of white concrete, it goes down to the layer of gray concrete, and then it goes down again to this layer of white concrete. And we'll bring this over until we are lined up with the corner here. We'll fill that in. Okay, now for this space here in the middle, we'll go ahead and add another 3 layers. Or actually 4 layers. Like that, so including the bottom one, it is 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's fill in 1 extra block here. And then this is going to be where a window is, except we're not going to have the glass on the same layer as the white concrete. It's going to be brought in 1. So let's go ahead and place it, and then we'll delete that. Okay, so it is kind of just like pushed back 1, so it looks like it's floating right now. And then when we look at it from this side, it's pushed in 1, so it gives a little bit of depth. So there we go, that's just like a little window. There's actually a bathroom here. I didn't want like a bathroom or like a window like right here or something, because it is a bathroom, so I thought it would be nice just to have it up here. It still brings in a little bit of natural light. Okay, so far, this is what the front side is looking like. Alright, back to your white concrete, and go to where this white concrete is, and we're going to add another 6 layers on top of this. So we have 1 here, and then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, so it's the same height as this wall. And then, above this, we're going to, or like to the right of it, towards the top, we're going to add 2 layers of white concrete going over to the other side so that we're lined up with this section here. Okay, and then we'll fill in 2 spaces here and bring it up. And then we'll go ahead and fill in that behind there. Now, to your black stained glass, we'll fill all of this in. We'll go from this side. And we want to fill it in until we are on like this layer pretty much. So actually, switch back to your white concrete and we'll fill in this empty space here just to make it a little bit easier. Okay, now you can see a lot easier. We just have to fill in the empty space. So bring this up so we have 1 layer, 2, 3, 4, so that it makes it a total of 5. Okay, so now from this side, we just have a big window here. And that is all there is to it. So this is just an entire solid wall. We have a window, and then a little bit of a solid wall here. Alright, now let's focus on this corner here. All right here. So like this shape here where the white concrete is. So there's actually going to be another bathroom here. So we're just going to have a small window kind of towards the top, but it's going to wrap around the corner of this wall. So first, let's focus on the white concrete. And we're going to bring it up to the same height as where this other white concrete is. So there should be an additional 6. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to fill in the top, and we're going to wrap it around, so make sure it's lined up, and then bring it over here. Once again, make sure it is lined up, like that. Okay, and then we'll push it in an extra 2 blocks so it's lined up at that corner. Let's fill in the 3 spaces here. And then we want to go in and fill in this space. So now we're left with 2 spaces here. Then we have 3 spaces here. Okay, so it looks like this. Now, like I mentioned, we are going to have a window. It's going to be wrapping around. So let's go ahead and fill that in. So switch to your black stained glass. We're just going to have a placement block here so we can place it. Go ahead and delete that. And then just wrap this around to make sure it's in 1. And stop it right there. Okay, so as you can see, the white concrete is still out an extra block. We have the black stained glass there, wrapping around. So just to make sure, let's go ahead and count it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when we look at it from this side. And then we'll head on over here. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 when we look at it from this side. Now, back to your white concrete, we'll fill in 1, 2, 3, 4 additional layers until it is all filled in, and we'll go ahead and wrap it around. Okay, looking pretty good so far. And actually, I'm looking at this right now. Let's just go ahead and fill it in where this L shape is, where the white concrete is. So we'll bring it up to the same height as all this other white concrete that we have. Okay. And I'll leave it at that for now. Alrighty then, let's head towards the front. We'll take a look. We have the entire front walls all brought up for the first floor of the house. Looking good. Like I mentioned before, at the end, we'll go ahead and maybe mark out where the doorways are going to be. Alright, let's head on over here to the right side. We'll start focusing on this area, fill this in, and then we'll kind of work our way towards the back and all through there. As soon as we bring up the walls for that side, we will be done with part 1. So let's focus on this area next. Okay, this wall is pretty simple. We just have to go up here with our white concrete, fill in 2 spaces above where this window is going to be, and we'll bring it over until we are lined up with the white concrete. And then we'll fill this in, and the rest of this entire wall, we'll go ahead and wrap it around where this corner is too. So just to make sure, we are on the same height as where all of this wall is. And then we added the 2 layers, and then we're going to fill all of this in. So let's go ahead and do that. So just to make sure, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, which makes it a total of 7, including the bottom layer that we already had. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's fill in the extra 2 spaces here real quick before I forget. Alright, there we go. So just kind of like that L shape. And then switch to your black stained glass and fill this in. The same way that we pretty much did it everywhere else up until we reached the edge of the white concrete here at the top. Like that. Okay, we'll look at it from this side. So there is a total of 5 in height where this glass is. Okay, there we go. So this wall is pretty simple. It's mainly just white concrete. This wall is a little bit different. We have some gray concrete along the edge of where the window is. So we'll go ahead and focus on this side now. Okay, switch to your gray concrete. We'll focus on that first. And just to make it a little bit easier, let's first place another 2 blocks of gray concrete behind the one that we already have. Because it's going to be like that anyway, so might as well just do it now. And then we want to place another 7 layers on top of this so that it's 8 in total. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll do the same for the other side. Alright, so it should be 1 block higher than where we have this white concrete. And then we want to bring up the glass until we are left with 2 additional layers of the gray concrete here at the top. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leaving 2 spaces here. And then we want to bring it in 1, like that. So it forms kind of like this L shape, because it's going to be kind of a window that's curving from the wall and wrapping around where the ceiling is going to be. It's going to be a pretty cool feature to have. So we'll bring this up and then bring it in like that. Okay, as you can see, it just like wraps around in towards the house. All right, so from the inside, it looks like this. Pretty cool, I think. All right. Now we have the rest of this white concrete here, so fill that in until we are 1 layer lower than where this gray concrete is. So I believe there should be 7 as far as I remember, or was there 6? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there was 6. So let's fill the rest of this in. All right, there we go. And now we have this section over here, which is pretty much just glass for the most part. We have to fill in these little spaces. We have the doorway there. Yeah, we're actually almost done with part 1. Not too much left to do. So let's head on over to this area next. Okay, let's go ahead and add our extra layers of glass now. So where we already have it marked out, we just want to add another 4 layers on top of this layer so that it's 5 in total, including this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Let's go here, do the same thing. And then we want to fill in the top layer with 2 spaces here. And then this is where our doorway is going to be. Okay, so it looks like that. Let's go to this space, bring this up, and then this L shape here. All right, and then an extra 2 spaces here at the top again, because once again, this is going to be another doorway. So this is going to be a doorway leading from where a bedroom is going to be, which is going to be here. And then this doorway is pretty much like, this is like an open area. It's kind of like a hallway, but not really. Like we have a hallway here, and it wraps around to like a little open room here. And then we have a wall dividing the bedroom here. Okay, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Now, let's switch to our white concrete and add an additional 4 layers on top of this. So it's the same height as the glass. And now with your white concrete, here, let's actually bring this up. So instead of 4, we want to bring it up 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's 2 layers higher than the glass. Okay, now we'll go ahead and add 2 layers of white concrete towards the top. And we're going to pretty much wrap it around as soon as we line up with the white concrete over there. So 1 more, I believe. Yeah, and then we will curve it in so that it looks like this. And then we'll go from the other side and we'll fill it in as well. So from behind, we'll fill in a layer here, so that like the corners of the glass and the white concrete are now touching. And then right on top of that white concrete, continue wrapping it around until you meet up with this here. Okay. So let's look at it again. We've filled in all the glass. We have just kind of like a pillar right here of white concrete, filled in all that glass. And then we just have 2 layers of white concrete here. And it's also 2 layers in height. So it goes in 2 layers and it's 2 layers in height. A little bit different than what we did everywhere else, but pretty much like the same concept. This is actually probably like the most confusing part of the exterior. So if it takes you a couple tries, don't worry. This is pretty much like the hardest part. After you get through this, the rest of it's pretty easy. So one last look, and there we go. Now let's focus on this section, then that section, and we'll leave it at that for part 1. Okay, switch to your gray concrete. We'll go to where these 2 spaces are, and we're going to place another 7 on top of this, so including this layer, it's 8 in total. Alright, so it's going to be 1 block higher than where this white concrete is. So once again, from this top one to this bottom one, it is 8 in height. We'll fill in this space here as well to the same height. Okay, and then switch to your white concrete, and we want to add another 8 layers on top of this, so including this one, it is 9 in total. And then it should also be 1 layer higher than this gray concrete. Let's fill in these 2 spaces and bring them over until we're lined up with the white concrete on this corner over here. Okay, and then we will bring it down. I guess we'll fill in this entire wall. So let's go ahead and do that, up until the same height as the white concrete that we just placed. Okay, there we go. And now we have a little shape of white concrete within where the glass is going to be. So after we fill that in, it's similar to what we did at the front, except it's not towards the ground, it's more towards like the top. And then we'll fill it all in with glass. So we'll work on that next. Okay, let's switch to the glass real quick. And we'll fill in the 4 spaces here towards the left and bring it all the way up to the top. Like that. Then switch to your white concrete and go on the second block in from the top, so right here, and bring it down 4. So we're starting to form this little L shape that we're going to have here. Then go towards the right of that, all the way up until this white concrete. So I'll go ahead and count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and now everything else is going to be glass. So we'll go from the inside, switch to your black stained glass. We'll fill this section in first. And make sure not to cover up this white concrete like this, because we're actually going to be bringing this in an extra layer. Or actually an extra 2 layers. Yeah. And then, just for now, we'll place that. I guess we could have placed it over here. And we'll fill this in with glass within the white concrete shape, like that. Okay. And then from this side, it's looking like this. Alright. We have the final area here. What's cool about this window is it goes up along the wall and goes really far in over the roof. So it's this giant window that wraps around from the wall to the roof. And this area inside here has really tall ceilings up until that point. I leave it all open. It's probably my favorite part of the house. I really do like this house. But let's go ahead and fill this in. And I guess we'll just leave it at that for part 1. We do have a few little doorways here. And I guess I'll mark these ones out. but I won't do these ones quite just yet. We'll just focus on these 2 doorways just so that we get it done so we don't forget. So let's get on to doing this big window next. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just fill in this side here where the wall is. We won't worry about wrapping it over the roof just yet. We'll go ahead and worry about that in part 2. So make sure you have your glass and add an additional 8 layers on top of this layer that we have here. So including this layer, it's going to be 9 in total. I'll go ahead and count it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's actually the same height as the white concrete wall. So we'll switch to our gray concrete, and we'll go ahead. It is going to be brought in. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So we'll add 2 layers behind the gray concrete block that we have, and then we'll bring this up so that it is 1 block higher than the glass and the white concrete. So right here, like that. And then this gray concrete is gonna go over the roof, pretty much wrap around, similar to the window, except it's just 1 block higher. Let's fill this section in as well. Okay, there we go. So now we have that wall done, and that is everything for all of the walls for the first floor of the house. Now, before I forget, let's go ahead and do our doorways. So switch to your black stained glass panes, and we will go ahead and just go from the left side. So we'll fill in 4 glass panes there, curve out the bottom one, skip the second one, and then curve out the 2 at the top. And then we'll have a dark oak fence like that as the handle. We'll go to this side, do the same thing, to the left or the right, whichever, doesn't matter. And there we go. So now we have some little doorways there. And that is all I'm going to do here for part 1. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for part 1 for this tutorial on how to build this large modern house. If it helped you, be sure to please leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in part 2.